Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. It's 4:30 on a Friday morning in Melbourne, and I'm here in Chinatown in the city, and we're going to try and do a bit of street photography before the sun comes up. This is a interesting alley here. There's a pool hall here, and I used to come and play pool here in my 20s. You can see the sign upstairs there for the pool hall. I don't know if it's still here actually. It might be a nightclub now. We've got some interesting light at this time of day. I like the purple here. I like the purple here coming out of the door there. So I'm just shooting with the point and shoot, my favourite street photography camera right now. That's kind of cool there with the neon. That's really cool. Let's see what we can do here. I've got the camera on face detect at the moment. I might have to switch it back to single point focus. I'm just underexposing a bit to capture the highlights. Yeah, I think that's about the best we can do with that one. Take one more. I think that will edit quite nicely, that photo later. So there was a nice storm that rolled through last night, which would have been good to photograph in, but I was very, very tired from dealing with my baby all day, my son. So I had some sleep in the night, not a great sleep, but I had some sleep, and I thought I'd rush into the city before the sun comes up. You see these red lanterns here. You know, I've photographed these red lanterns in Chinatowns around the world, and they look great when you're here, but then when you photograph them, you can't really get the feeling across, the emotion across. They just look like little dots. It's like photographing the moon. I've stopped trying to photograph the moon because it just looks like a white dot in the sky, unless you've got a huge telephoto lens, of course, an astro lens. One thing I do love in Chinatown is these old buildings. You see here the Chinese Mission Church. There's some really cool old buildings here that were sort of built when they initially laid down Chinatown here, and they're pretty cool. This is a kind of a cool looking street here, this alley. Just got to get the composition. I like these air conditioning boxes on the top. Walking around Chinatown in the middle of the night is not for everyone. You've got to be confident in yourself. Don't walk down the wrong alleys. Don't photograph homeless people. Don't look at people the wrong way. This is Croft Alley here, Croft Lane, Croft Alley, and there's actually a bar up the end there, way up the end, where you can, I haven't been there, but I've heard that you can drink cocktails out of like test tube beakers and stuff, like chemistry glassware, because it's an old chemist or something like that. But yeah, it's kind of a novelty bar It's way down the end of a really dodgy back alley in Chinatown. Hopefully my audio is coming across okay. I've just got the GoPro under my chin. I think it should be pretty good audio. I haven't got a microphone, lapel microphone, it's just a straight off GoPro. I think it's a 9, Hero 9 I think it is, I'm not quite sure. Maybe a 10 or a 9, they changed too fast. The GoPro scene. I'm kind of looking for those kind of cyberpunk kind of Japanese alleyway kind of shots that I'm really into at the moment. If you've been following my channel for a while, you notice I've been fairly landscape photography based, but I'm sort of over landscape photography right now. I'm sorry if you've tuned in because you're a landscape photography fan, but I'm really leaning back towards street photography, which is where I started years ago. And then I had people say, "Oh, just get out of the city. We're tired of seeing all your all the same shots in the city. Can you go out and photograph the countryside?" And I said, "Oh, well, I'm going to be a landscape photographer. I'm going to travel around the country and then around other countries, and I'm going to just photograph landscapes." But as you photographers will know, landscape photography is a brutal pastime with a very, very, very low success ratio. And I've tried it during the most recent lockdowns we had here. I've tried it and it was just expensive on fuel, very expensive on fuel, and the fuel price is skyrocketing at the moment here in Australia as it is all across the world. And I just got sick and tired of being beaten down by this success ratio of landscape photography. I don't want to photograph this scene here because I feel like that's just a stupid tourist shot there, so I want to do something with these lights, and they look pretty cool. Actually, they look very cool. Let's slow down and let's try and extract a composition here. What can I do? What can I do? Let's have a look here. Perhaps if we incorporate this archway here. Yep, there we go, there's something. Again, it's a little bit touristy. But I think when I lift the shadows, there could be a shot there. I must remember where I've parked. Nothing worse than forgetting where you've parked your car. Well, we're coming to the top of Chinatown here. And this is Her Majesty's Theatre on the left, and there's a really cool illuminated sign here I'll try and photograph. If I spin around you can see it there. I'd like to get a taxi going through there if I can. Taxi or a garbage truck would be nice. But at this time of the day, there's not a lot happening. There was a taxi just behind me, but he didn't turn right, unfortunately. Anyway, let's keep moving. Because if I stand here and wait for a subject to enter the foreground, we're going to be here all morning. So that's the last of Chinatown up there as it heads up towards the top end of the city. There's another photographer there. Morning. I like this old barber shop here. I haven't seen this guy in ages, but he's one of these old barbers. I've got to come back and photograph that in the day. This is one of those barbers to the stars. Like, God, how old must this guy be? Maybe his son's doing it now. Vincent Don. But I remember he photographed a lot of the local celebrities here. I think he's an old original Italian 1950s barber. It's so cool. And there's the chart of haircuts, and you just point out which haircut you'd like, and he does it for you. The all-time Italian-American boxing world champs. They're actually a collection of boxers, but you can sort of point out what haircut you wanted there as well. Really cool. It's a really cool old shop. Open by appointment, and you just phone and you get an appointment and you come in. So cool. Just giving that guy a wide berth there. I don't know if you saw that, but the guy coming out of the shadows there, you don't want to bump into someone unexpected. You want to give them a wide berth. Don't surprise people in the middle of the night, especially with a GoPro on your chest. People can get a bit funny. Chinese museum there. Actually, that's a good shot. You see the light on the... We've got the light on the pavement there. I think from memory there used to be this used to be illuminated pink neon on the right hand side here where these lions are. But of course, first thing in the morning, some of the lights are turned off, whereas they would be on in the night. So I think that's all red there in the night, red neon there. I like these scenes. I like these scenes when the bluestone is wet, and it looks even better. So you could put that little drain there as the foreground element in the wet. And get down low enough and get a great shot, but right now we'll do the best we can. And I really like this small alleyway here, this thoroughfare to the next street. It's too small for a car, so when they built this block here, they obviously built it just wide enough for, what is it, just for pedestrians, or was it just wide enough for a single horse and cart to go through there? It's a bit of a town planning fail, that one, but yeah, it's a real throwback. Actually, let's take a shot because it's got a light just there, which I like. Let's come a little bit closer. So I'm shooting at time priority mode, which I usually do in street photography, so I get the minimum shutter speed to get a sharp shot. And floating ISO, floating aperture obviously because it's in time value. It tends to be what I do. I'm at 1/25th at the moment, which is about as slow as I'd like to go, handheld. And then during the day when the people start moving around and whatnot, I'll speed it up to like 250, 500th. I was hoping we still might have some rain this morning, or some drizzle, or at least some wet ground or wet pavement, but not to be. That's another example of one of these cool old buildings. You can see up there, Shanghai Village now, Dumpling House. But what was it back when it was built, you know? So cool. And then on contrast, we have piles of human vomit on the floor there. There's vomit number 1 and vomit number 2 over there. That's nice. That's what you want to step in first thing in the morning. This has got potential. If we look up here at the purple lights up there, am I the only one that's obsessed by these little kind of alleys? I don't know why, I just love photographing them. It's kind of got that Blade Runner sort of feel to it. Yeah, that's going to be hard to photograph, that one. That's going to be hard to photograph, that scene up there. It's just, you can see. Yeah, it's just hard to photograph. Anyway, let's keep moving, because the sun is starting to break, the light is starting to break. I love this red door here. That's cool. I think that's a there's a Chinese singing studio here, singing vocal studio upstairs, and you often, as you're walking along here, you often hear beautiful singing coming from upstairs. It's really sweet. I quite like that shot with the door on the right and the door on the left. But I think I'm going to have to do a stitch in Photoshop, because the lens is not wide enough, and I want to get yeah, I want to get a little bit of that in there as well. I think I'm going to have to stitch that. Have a look later. How many air conditioning boxes can you fit in one alley? The answer is right there. It's like 200. Let's get a bit closer. We'll get this light on the right up here to be the top right hand side of the frame. There we go. I really need that alleyway to have the wet pavement and a person with a clear umbrella walking through, preferably a geisha woman with a clear umbrella. One of those umbrellas that you can look through, like the Blade Runner style ones that come down over your face. That would be the perfect shot. That's a cool shot there with the rubbish bins. Again, if you're a landscape photography fan, you're probably looking at these photos thinking, why are you photographing trash bins, rubbish bins in alleyways? I can't tell you. I think it's because you can do it. It's right there. You can just walk out, bang, 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 get the shots, satisfy your photography urges, and it's a lot easier. My plan, by the way, is to, with my audience's permission, is to do these kind of walking street photography tours all around the world. We're planning to go to Cambodia early 2022, pending the COVID situation up there. And I'm going to do some street photography tours in the night around Phnom Penh and Siem Reap, and maybe some coastal places around Cambodia as well. Sort of depends where we end up over there. But yeah, I plan to do these walking street photography videos more and more moving forward. So please subscribe, please tune in. This scene here, this is one of the best scenes. I've actually made an NFT out of this. You can see those light boxes up there on the left. When they're lit up at night, it's a really cool scene here. I've photographed it from the other end, looking back this way. But when they are lit up, it looks really cool. It's kind of like a little Hong Kong kind of little Tokyo strip there. Just going to get a shot of the telephone box here, because you just don't see telephone boxes anymore. Those of you who are my age, I'll be 50 next year, you remember the days before mobile phones when you had to find a telephone box to call your girlfriend. I remember when I was a young fella, I used to line up there and you'd wait your turn to use the box, and then I used to call my girlfriend on my break from work, and you'd take like half an hour on the phone. And I remember people sort of standing outside the phone, and I'd have to open the phone box and say, a phone booth, and I'd say to them, oh, I'm going to be a while, you might want to move on to the next one. It's completely self-centered to take a public phone box for half an hour. You don't think about that when you're a young guy calling your girlfriend. We're going to lose the light soon. I can see the sky getting light right now. That's an interesting shot. I don't know whether that's going to come up, but you can see those signs. If they were illuminated at night and I was to photograph through this crack in the buildings here with the with the bluestone as the foreground, there might be a photograph there. I'll just take this to remind myself about that shot, especially if you had someone just there and you've got a whole lot of depth in that photograph. Here's this bloody food store I was talking about with the green sign. It's not lit up right now, unfortunately. That's a car park upstairs, and someone has put a greengrocer in there, an Asian greengrocer. The guy back there, he was just wondering, why is that guy talking to himself? Hopefully he's seen the GoPro on my chest and has figured it out. This is a interesting alley. Of course, I've walked all the alleys of Melbourne multiple times, and this one goes around the back, but sometimes there's homeless people sleeping back here. We'll have a quick look. Not that I want to photograph them, I don't photograph homeless, but I just don't want to disturb them, that's all. Yeah, so there's no one there right now, which is good. Let's take a shot here. I love that scene. I'm trying not to get my shadow in the shot. That's going to come up really well, that one. That's going to come up nicely after in post. See, if I photograph the reflection in the water, I'm going to get my shadow in it, so I can't do it. I've been really enjoying the point and shoot. I'm using the Canon G7X Mark III, which is my vlogging camera, but it's a really good point and shoot street photography camera because I can hold it out here and you guys can see on the backlit screen what I'm photographing. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Awesome. Awesome. There's a truck right there, garbage truck. Morning. Don't mind me. Let's see if we can get this. I'm just going to bump up the exposure compensation, bump it up a bit, because I want to get the guy in the shot too. There's the shot. If we can get this guy with the garbage bins walking through, let's increase the shutter speed a bit. Alright. You all right? You're working? That's going to be a shot of the day right there. There's a couple of good shots happening right here. Some cool blue light there. I'll have to remember that blue light and come and do a portrait photo here. I like this Vietnamese soup kitchen over there. You can see there, Mekong, Vietnam. It's really busy too. If you want to get pho there, those of you who don't know what pho is, just Google PHO. It's a noodle soup. I'd love to get someone walking through there. That would be ideal. There's no one around at this time of day. I'm just looking up and down. Is there anyone coming? There's a guy just walking out of the building right here. Is he going to walk into my shot? Hopefully, yes. It's a young lady sweeping the floor. That's the best I'm going to get at that shot. That was kind of good karma. I set up the frame and someone walks into it. Opens the door, walks in and took the shot and they walked out. Fantastic. I love this old building here. It's a 7-Eleven now. It's not a very good shot, but I just love that old building. This building here, this Chinese building here, I'll just show you as I spin around. Just behind me, I'll turn around up here so I can show you. It's a really cool building, the way it's lit up like that. And I've photographed it a bunch of times, and if you can get a really interesting subject on the road there in the foreground, it's quite a good shot. I don't know what that says in Chinese on the banner there. Maybe someone can comment below. Well, I love it. How many levels is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 level building. There's probably people living upstairs on the top 2 levels. The restaurant downstairs. Got to be careful photographing people like that. Generally I'll ask for someone's permission to photograph them, but that scene seemed like it was okay. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to sign off. Let me try and find a reflection for you guys. Can you see me there? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks very much.